49 God of War. It's just that Passat is very popular in the army. I'm afraid many people will not support your personnel changes. Moreover, now that the war is imminent, do you think this appointment and removal is really necessary? Kahan doubted. He asked in a tone of voice. He could understand Singer's thoughts, but today his head was big, and he was a little tired of the internal strife that Singer took the initiative to provoke. I have been in the army for more than 10 years. Passat used to be my superior. He only has influence in the Northern Command. People in other military regions don't buy him. Is that so? Kahan asked listlessly. He just wanted to rest early now, and if Singh wanted to reorganize the upper-level personnel of the army, he should wait at least a few days. Your Excellency, Admiral Passat has been running the northern line of defense all these years. According to his logic, his 10 mountain divisions are like bottomless pits, occupying all the funds that should have been used for armored troops. You know this. What's the result? What's the result? Half of the world's mountain divisions are now in India, and it's just, when these mountain divisions are full, there are thousands of mules and horses. But there are no tanks. They can't be used for fast attack, they can only be used for mountain attack and defense, and what I need is a 21st century army that can defeat the enemy. Perhaps Admiral Passat, like you, said about 1962. The memory of the war is still fresh, and I think his approach is conservative, but there is nothing wrong with it. He is a stubborn, with only defense in his mind. The army is currently dead, and its combat effectiveness is far worse than that of the Air Force. It is difficult to give full play to its due power. Don't we already have a newly formed armored force? The army is not only facing the problem of equipment, but also the problem of the commander's thinking. Well, what candidates do you have? Let's talk about it. Khan reluctantly agreed to listen to Singer's candidates. I want Lieutenant General Spanga to replace Passat as Army Chief of Staff. Humph, I've never heard of that name. He was the commander of the 21st Army, when he was the commander of the 31st Division. There is a nickname called the God of War. He is the most proficient tank fighting expert in our country. Expert? No, I still can't agree to replace Admiral Passat. I remind you, I have an old friend. You have to consider the political factor. Under the current circumstances, if the senior generals are replaced, what will the outside world guess? Well, I'm tired. I'll leave your report here, I'll read it, and I'll ask the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to make an appointment with Petrov. Kahan stood up and seemed to have lost the patience to continue listening. Singer couldn't say much, so he had to get up and say goodbye. He knew that the matter of replacing the Army Chief of Staff was temporarily put on hold, and this matter had to be considered in the long run. Braving the scorching sun, the 31st Infantry Division rallied in an area full of farmland in Chaturbati, central India. Division Commander Manika was standing on a mound, watching with binoculars the T-90 tanks of the 83rd Panzer Regiment slowly marching in the mud. Since he became the division commander, the troops have never been deployed during the busy farming season. Many villagers flocked to the dirt road and pointed at the tanks. Even the local illiterate farmers now knew that the White Tiger Division was about to go out to clean up Pakistan. Manika was very worried at this time. He was very dissatisfied with the speed of the troops, but there was nothing he could do. The troop trains have filled the railway line for 2 days. New Delhi's order to requisition the railway has driven thousands of civilians off the platform, but a large number of tanks are still blocked on the edge of the railway embankment. Due to the difficulties of railway control, plus in hot weather, loading work was intermittent. The work of sappers to build bridges was also ineffective, and the 12th Regiment was blocked on the other side of the Yamuna River and unable to move. And a tank of the advance company of the 19th Regiment overturned in the rice field when marching at night, and the nearby villagers flocked to remove everything that could be removed from the surface of the tank, including the huge infrared searchlight, saying that it was to make up for it. Loss of crushed crops. Compared with these troubles, what worries Major General Makhani the most is that Commander Spanga has not returned yet. The war is imminent. If the commander cannot come to command in person, then it will undoubtedly be the biggest threat to the 31st Armored Division, or the entire 21st Army. Commander Spanga acted bravely and decisively, and has always been the most reliable person in the minds of many officers of the 21st Army. The irritating roar of planes in the sky, and the bomb-laden Mirage 2000 at Gwalior base took off and headed west without stopping. These signs suggested to the slowly marching soldiers of the White Tiger Division that they were far from war or war. It is said that the death is getting closer and closer. Although they are still 600 kilometers away from the border, there is no doubt that the army cannot stay out of this war, and the 31st, White Tiger, Armored Division is definitely the pioneer of the army. It's too hot in this damn weather. Does the commander have any news? Manika asked the staff around him. There is no news yet. Brahman's funerals are always long. If he wants to come back, he can mobilize the helicopter of the army at any time. I hope he can come back soon and cheer up. He can't miss this war. Poor Spanga, I don't think even strong people can bear the pain of losing a child in middle age, said a staff officer. In the sky, a Polaris helicopter flew over Manika's head, flying very slowly. Manika squinted and looked at it, and recognized that it was the plane of the helicopter unit directly deployed by the military. Commander, someone is looking for a call on the military channel. A communications sergeant carrying the radio came over and handed a communicator to Major General Manika. I'm Manika, please tell me. What did you do? The troop movement was messed up, how did you command it? Manika was surprised, and it was Spanga's voice, which made him startled again and again happiness. Commander, is it really you? I thought. Why do you think? I'm right above your head, look at your lineup, how can you still look like an ace army? What's going on with the engineer battalion? Hell, I didn't see a pontoon bridge on the Yamuna River. If I don't hurry up to build the bridge these days, I won't be able to cross the Yamuna River in the whole of May. You will really embarrass me. If the 12th Regiment remains on the east bank tomorrow, just let the commander of the engineer battalion get out. Understood, Commander, but the road here is too narrow for us to travel in multiple rows, and the weather is too hot. The 21st Army is not a girl, there is no period. Let the military vehicles march at night, don't be afraid to run over those damn crops, the front line is dead. We have to get there quickly and kill those criminals. Yes. Hurry up. Manika replied when he turned around, his expression softened a lot. Although he was scolded by Spanga, who was patrolling in the air, the haze in his heart had been swept away. He knew that the backbone of the 21st Army had returned, and this battle was good for Pakistan. Okay, we have to come up with new ways to increase the speed of troop movement. First, increase the manpower, speed up the loading of tanks. The 2nd Infantry Regiment has to do it at night, don't be afraid to go through those rice fields. Also, pick up the engineer battalion for me, they dawdled like a bunch of pussies. Spanga's helicopter landed near the temporary headquarters dozens of kilometers away, and he had just returned from his hometown of Murid. 20 days ago, his youngest son was killed in a terrorist attack in Mumbai, and these days he has been hiding in his remote hometown busy with his son's funeral, and the army staff can hardly find him. Now he's back, ready to go big.